In this story, however, there was no crystal slipper or magical beans, but there was a wicked witch who needed Wen's assistance to jet set around Europe, trying to find ways to buy assets with stolen magical internet money known as Bitcoin. The pair always arrived together in different countries, but Zhang was always using different names, and strangely, they just happened to avoid any country that had an extradition agreement with China. Never did the pair appear in pictures together, not when they flew to Zurich to buy diamonds and watches, not when they were in London buying hundreds of thousands of dollars of clothes, or in Dubai to buy property. So you might think, with this level of money and criminal mastermind, that they were quiet about their operation. But you'd be wrong. They weren't quiet or particularly intelligent about how they tried to launder the goods. They weren't using cash-heavy businesses like laundromats you'd see in a movie, just two individuals buying everything with increasingly valuable Bitcoin transactions and leaving a growing paper trail that led right to their doorstep. Though, in a recurring fashion, Zhang was leaving much of the transactions in the name of her new butler Wen, who likely had no idea that her previous pawn, along with dozens of other former employees, were now sitting in a Chinese prison, paying for their association with her boss, who they knowingly or unknowingly helped steal a reported 40 billion yuan, which is around $5.6 billion. But now you've heard the come up, how they got the money, what they were doing with it. But what went wrong? How did they get caught? Well, just like other criminals who make it up as they go, they were simply too sloppy and inexperienced to handle such a large sum of stolen money. This is something that requires a lifetime of experience and finesse. Almost every financial system on the planet has anti-money laundering policies in place, and despite the United Kingdom being one of the hubs of dirty money invested in real estate, it's much more complex than meets the untrained eye. Within a year of the pair working together, Wen, at the behest of her boss, had tried to purchase incredibly expensive real estate with the stolen funds, ignorant of the fact that a pure cash purchase of such a large and expensive, reportedly £26 million property would be heavily scrutinised by lawyers. After all, you don't just show up at someone's doorstep and hand them a suitcase of money, or in this case a USB of Bitcoin, and suddenly own the property. Anyone selling something of that value would need the transaction to be done through legitimately practicing law firms with signed documents, proof of fund sources, and guarantees. When Wen failed these simple checks, the lawyers turned over the information to the police, which led to the first raid on their £17,000 per month rental mansion in 2018. During this raid, Wen reportedly deleted texts while the police arrived outside, and her boss, despite being described in court by Wen as being bedbound for 20 hours of the day with poor health, used an unexpected burst of agility to escape the premises and leave her employee to face the music alone. Funnily enough, this raid didn't result in the end of their criminal life. For whatever reason, the police seized electronic devices, but didn't arrest either of the women or even know the extent of what was being seized. The police had no idea that the laptop now sat in the evidence lockup contained 61,000 Bitcoin, worth, at that time, roughly $390 million. Investigations continued with another raid in 2020, but somehow, just like in 2018 and the year before in China, Qian managed to escape once more, just in the nick of time. On this occasion, it was 2 days before she was scheduled to attend an in-person interview regarding the case. Instead, she boarded a plane and vanished, leaving Wen alone, again, with nothing but her Gucci bag and brand new Mercedes. The 3,000 Bitcoin that her boss gifted her for whatever reason had been seized by now, leaving her slightly wealthier than her time in the Chinese fast food joint in Leeds, but now facing years in prison for an ever-elusive Bitcoin criminal employer. The Metropolitan Police continue to investigate who her boss could be, and as they followed the paper trail, discovered the link to the Chinese investor fraud. It wasn't until mid-2021 that the police discovered how the digital devices confiscated in 2018's raid was considerably more valuable than they thought. It was at this time that the still-on-the-run Xian's lawyer submitted an appeal on her behalf, claiming that her client had a right to the peaceful use of her Bitcoin under the Human Rights Act. An appeal that, if successful, would have handed over access to a device that now contained around $2.5 billion of Bitcoin. This appeal didn't end in their favour. But at the end of it all, Wen went to court, where she took the stand and told a story about how she was the unwilling patsy for a manipulative mastermind, how she knew nothing of the ongoings, and that she was just doing what her bedridden, sickly, wealthy employer instructed. The prosecution presented evidence that showed Wen searching for very specific terms, such as what is the definition of money laundering, how to buy a house in Bitcoin without showing where it came from, and which countries have an extradition agreement with China, whilst travelling through Europe by ground, as well as text logs recovered from her device that proved she lied about having contact with her boss after the disappearance. For this, Wen was found guilty on multiple charges relating to money laundering and will be sentenced on May 10th, 2024. As for her boss, well, much like other Ponzi scheme operators who somehow managed to escape the law, such as the elusive Ruja Ignatova from the world-famous OneCoin scam, Ziminqian Zhang, or whatever other name she's now using, is still missing, now on the run from 2 governments, and likely soon to be on some of the world's most wanted lists. For people like these scammers, the world is shrinking, and so too is their war chest of stolen goods, with increasingly common seizures of linked properties, accounts, and arrested accomplices. After all, if it's on the chain, it's easily trackable. In this case, it's publicly not known how much she has left, or if the people helping to secret her away will do her harm before the governments catch up on the trail. But that's the life of a criminal. They built it for themselves. In this specific case, it's a life much different than Xian wrote about in her diary that was read aloud in court during the trial of her employee Wen. That diary called out the people who had laughed at her for being poor, proclaiming she would grow millions, which did come true. She also said that the Dalai Lama would announce her as a reincarnated goddess, as well as buying a $5 million royal scepter and crown, while taking up her place as the Queen of Liberland. Liberland, if you don't know, is an unrecognized micro-state bordering Croatia and Serbia, where the occupants believe themselves outside the jurisdiction of the world, which brings in many Bitcoin or cryptocurrency dreamers to their shores. That part of the dream is unlikely to come true, but who knows? Maybe Liberland will receive a new resident with another new passport and enough Bitcoin to really become their ruler. For now, the 61,000 Bitcoin seizure, which is worth a little over $4 billion as I write this video, sits in the hands of the UK government, making them suddenly one of the largest holders of the digital currency and one of the few governments with billions of dollars accumulated through criminal seizures. But it is impossible to tell how much more Xian had access to and whether she'll remain free for long enough to try and launder it into another luxurious living once again. Though we can tell from her history that if she does, it will likely be through another pawn who will find themselves without a chair to sit on once the music stops playing. Just like Jian Wen, the Chinese takeaway worker, as well as her other employees in China. With that being said, this marks one of the largest seizures of Bitcoin ever, as well as an interesting story how somebody who seems to have very poor operational security or understanding of money can somehow steal billions of dollars and evade multiple governments. Though who knows for how long. Thanks for watching.
I received this afternoon a message from the Japanese government. I deem this reply the
Thank you, Spectacles.
unconditional surrender of Japan.
There's this moment after World War II where the world is suddenly changing really quickly and Japan is being completely remade. Because armed with an unconditional surrender and the atomic bomb, America could do anything to Japan. But when soldiers under General Douglas MacArthur entered Tokyo, their assignment wasn't to punish the country that had just started a war that killed 30 million people. Instead, their task was to rebuild Japan, and more importantly, to transform it into a peaceful democratic nation. And today, that's what Japan has become, a democratic country famous for its technology and innovation, and for its peacefulness. But this American transformation didn't happen overnight, and its success was far from guaranteed. There was a time when anything was possible, a time when leading politicians declared friendship with communists and swore opposition to America, when massive crowds dominated the streets of Tokyo, storming parliament, attacking American officials, and chanting "Yankee Go Home," when many believed Japan was on the verge of a socialist revolution. That is until this wave of resistance hit its final crescendo, when in 1 year, 3 enormous events combined to set Japan on the path to becoming the country we know today. First, a new treaty with America. Then, the largest protest in the country's modern history. And finally, a brutal samurai sword assassination televised for the entire country to witness. But these 3 events don't just explain why Japan is the way it is today, because this story actually helps explain a fundamental truth about why every society is the way it is. This is Japan 1960, the year that made a nation. This is the year of blood. The American occupation of Japan began with nearly boundless idealism. Immediately, the political and military leaders responsible for the conflict were arrested, many charged with war crimes, while the emperor was forced to renounce his divinity and endorse a shockingly progressive constitution. This new founding document established Japan as a liberal democracy, of course, but it went further, guaranteeing equality between men and women, and enshrining the rights of workers to unionize and self-advocate, measures absent even from America's own constitution.
What?
At the same time, large farms were divided and redistributed, and massive monopolistic corporations were slated to be broken up. Old, hierarchical Japan was quickly giving way to a new, democratic Japan. But perhaps the biggest break from the past was the Constitution's Article 9. The Japanese people forever renounce war as a sovereign right. Land, sea, and air forces, as well as other war potential, will never be maintained. These were massive, controversial social changes, but despite some discontent, Japan's path to democratic modernity seemed clear, until one day, everything changed.
Here in Russia, you see why we are spending billions of dollars in defense production.
Communism was spreading, and suddenly America was no longer basking in the post-war glow of victory. A new war was on, the Cold War. Idealism vanished. Instead of a progressive democracy, Washington now needed a forward military base with a stable, friendly government. Most of the war-era leaders, experienced and reliably anti-communist, were suddenly pardoned and allowed to seek political office. Few renounced their wartime actions. Instead, communists were now purged from the government, and many progressive policies favoring organized labor and the breakup of monopolies were abandoned, even reversed. Article 9 remained in force, but America did allow the formation of a small pseudo-military, the Japan Self-Defense Force. What came next, however, was downright humiliating. As a condition of the occupation's end, America proposed a treaty. It stipulated the American military could freely station and move troops throughout Japan, without being under any obligation to defend the country in the event of an attack, and the treaty had no expiration date. Japan had no choice but to accept. So by the time the American occupation ended in 1952, a lot of the early progress made restoring security, dignity, and self-respect to a new democratic Japan had been undone. This security treaty was humiliating, and it caused a serious identity crisis, as Japan was torn between that initial post-war optimism and a new Cold War pessimism, where nothing mattered except stability and anti-communism. A contest over the fundamental question of what kind of nation Japan was going to be.
Before we go any further, I just want to take a second to thank a great friend of the channel and the sponsor of this video, AnyDesk. Because without partners like AnyDesk, we couldn't make these videos. AnyDesk is an incredible program that lets you control and access any of your devices from anywhere in the world at any time. Honestly, it's kind of magical being able to control my desktop from the other side of the world in just 2 clicks. Once you're connected, AnyDesk is great at retrieving files, as I've been doing a lot lately, printing remotely, working from home, or helping family members troubleshoot technical issues. Luckily, it's as easy to set up as it is to use. Just download, type in the access code, and you're in. Easy as can be. Sound too good to be true? Well, try it for yourself at anydesk.com/spectacles. And because it's totally free for personal use, checking it out is a great way to support the channel without spending a dime. You'll be glad you did, and so will we. That's anydesk.com/spectacles. Thank you, AnyDesk. So, Japan is gripped by an identity crisis. Two images show who was winning this fight by 1960 in the Diet, Japan's parliament. This shows how many seats each party controlled after the 1955 election. These are the two biggest parties, the Liberals and Democrats. They're both conservative, and they're totally dominant. But here's the Diet after the next election. The two biggest parties are just gone. Except they're really just hiding, because this is the Liberal Democratic Party, a sort of conservative super party formed in a merger that was actually organized in part by the CIA, who wanted Japan's anti-communist parties to join forces. Heading up the new party was this guy, Nobusuke Kishi, a war criminal and former minister in the wartime government. By 1957, he was prime minister, and he had two core goals. First, revise the Constitution, eliminate Article 9, and remilitarize Japan. And second, renegotiate the humiliating security treaty with America. Now, treaty renegotiation was widely popular in Japan, not just with the right wing. So when Kishi, after 3 years of haggling with the American government, secured key concessions, mandated consultation with the Japanese government about American troop movements, a defense commitment from America for Japan, and a 10-year term of treaty renewal rather than it being indefinite, he expected to be hailed as a hero.
But there were two problems. While treaty renegotiation was widely popular, revising the Constitution was anything but. Most Japanese wanted nothing to do with war. And
I won!
Article 9 to remilitarize.
Look at that silly shit. I won. I can't believe I won this with one bet. I can't believe I won that. That's insane. Nice. Oh god, am I dying? Yes. Sit. No, wait.
Your skill has increased. Your skill has increased.
I won. I won. Oh no.
Your skill has increased.
Paralyzed really badly. The bird trap's killing him, though. Oh, no! He killed me! No! For 96, that son of a bitch. Oh, my God. It's alright. I'm still up, and I'm making money. I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
I found my brittle bones!
Queen Butt Stallion coming in with the Royal Hoof of Doom! Woo. ghastly ruins, but there is no answer.
Ah, what is that? Burn it! Stab it! Kill it!
Quit freaking out. It's just a mimic. This is why I shoot every chest just to be sure.
As the mimic dies, it belches out the goopy. You're gonna have to read it aloud on the altar outside.
My old nemesis.
Reading?
Out loud.
I won this one with one. I can't believe I won this with one.
Place the Tome of Fate upon the pedestal and read out the Fate Maker's Creed.
Fate does not divide us. Fate brings us together.
Ooh, I like that. Fate brings us together. That's going on my vision board.
Do you really believe that, Tinker?
What? Nah, girl, that's just some fantasy butt crap. But, I guess, you know, fate brought us together. Play games.
Oh, cutie idiot. You caught up. Not gonna take much good though.
barrel is filled with decay. Dead gross stuff. It's full of nasty evil smells, and it's so gross and bad. Oh, God.
Oh, so it's like Valentine's private quarters. State City.
Man, you brew homemade ketchup wine one time.
Your skill has increased.
My God, that was easy.
You're good. What a shame you and your stupid queen are gonna die once the deal gets the sword. Put some bloody armor on you, Nitty. You're not the owner of that
Oh no, what's that sound? Am I dying? I am. I have a bird trap on me. Oh, really? No, wait, no, I got him. Okay, sit. I won. Yay.
Good for you, cutie idiot!
Almighty robot policeman! How do we kill this zombie axe for good?
Give me that sword.
Zombie-atch.
You can't even use it right. It needs to be charged with soul energy. And that only comes from your precious queen and the souls of living things.
I can think of at least one soul nearby that needs absorbing.
Give me that sword! It's not... What? Not like that! No! No, 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 no!
The Sword of Souls clatters to the ground. Like this. Clatter, 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 clatter. Now you must take the sword back to Brighthoof. A town portal opens up. She says you'll need to bring the sword to the fountain in the main square. Little, double entendre. I did.
With a little plate, you won't be late. Sail! I'm so
poured into the fountain. Soul energy swirls through it and out in the city! All the fires are extinguished! The houses get put back together! The crowds are cheering for you! We love you, Fate Maker!
Thanks! I love me too!
But Stallion says to, look over here. She's gonna do something special for you.
Oh, what a nice ode to the dissolving corporeal form I am currently haunting.
Brilliant work, Fate Maker. The city is safe, prosperous, and skeleton-free. Now that the siege has been lifted, you'll want to avail yourself of our amenities. Start by visiting the blacksmiths.
Yeah, stop eating nuts. But they're so good.
Who is that? Can he see it through the soot in the eyes?
They call the hero of Brightwood.
The hero of Brighthof. Never met a Fate Maker. You'll need some better gear. Now, I can't offer you any weapons or armor directly on account of the exclusivity contract with the Crown. It's to keep the vending machine stuffed. I'm a proud part of the military pre-industrial complex, you see. But I can offer you expansions of your carrying capacity.
Pre-industrial
More
complex.
bullets, more loot, more fun. A free sample of me wares on the house. The forge is a bonny mistress. She'll melt down your hard edges and sharpen your soft ones. Fine choice. Now, while you're seeing your way around, Bright, go and talk to the lovely lassie who runs the store. That is it. She pulls a mean fight. Soda.
The tavern keeper waves you over. And, that way that only tavern keepers can do.
Welcome in.
Extends his ravenous sight, and endless are his days. Thank you, thank you. Your applause is the only thing keeping me going.
Your simple mind will say yes.
Well, thanks for nothing. Half the town was barricaded in here, and they were slurping down Virgin Shirley temples like it was the end of the world. I'm only judging you, fit maker. You did us a mighty fine favor. Now, out of thanks for saving our city, let me avail you of our amenities here in the Soda Tavern.
Hello, Floor. I've got a goblin problem. Head to my farm if you're hungry for violence and money. Meet me in my herb garden toot sweets.
As you wish. Have you heard the tale of the farmer's wife? Long in the tooth and hale in the arm?
Oh no.
I've lost my marbles. Would you help me find them? I was a hero like you once.
There's an infestation in my yard. I'm rich. You're desperate.
Kill them and I shall pay you.
No foreplay? For shame.
Just clear out the field and I'll toss some money your way. Goblins.
You're gonna kill me!
Oh, goblin teeth, my favorite.
Will be big on
Time to be a hero.
Whoa! I don't care! You're no longer messing around! I'll never forget again! My fate just gave me will be my last word!
Come on, Flora. Find your backbone.
My hate just gave me!
They're dead then. Good. Come back at once. Are those goblin teeth? Why do you have those?
Well, I'm not going to not pick up stuff that drops from something I kill.
What? Oh! What? I mean, I guess I'll throw them away for you. Here's some money, I guess. Just don't come back. You are a filthy weirdo.
No! They're dead! My plans are ruined! Who did this? Lord, what have you done? You killed my goblins! Your goblins? I smell a ruse. I attracted those goblins on purpose. You see, I'm in love with the alchemist. My plan was to swoop in, defeat all the goblins, and save her herb garden. Now how am I supposed to catch her fancy? Set her house aflame. Unhelpful. Look, just give her these flowers, would you? Thanks. With any luck, wedding bells will be ringing by sundown.
You again? What do you want?
I've got a thing for you.
You do? Give it here. I want it. Flowers? From whom?
The farmer likes you.
As if I could be seen knocking boots with that poor thing. Perhaps when pigs fly, or water flows backwards, or a polka-dotted poetry-reading goblin recites a love poem for me. Good day.
Did I hear that right? A polka-dotted poet goblin? You know, I could do that actually. First, we'll need to attract another goblin. Find me the most pungent gobbo loincloth you can smell. Oh, take the loss, darling. She doesn't want you. You sure? I don't know. Only one way to find out, right?
I'm dead. Right. The pet. Yes. Aw. But it is an interesting way to sort of farm money. Not really, though. But I mean, you can make some money doing this, yeah. I wonder if my gold or my silver sold. Oh, good. 125, 167. All those silver ingots. Okay, 273, and we're up a little bit. Gonna go do some more silver. I felt like that death was pretty much instant. It was like I was down and dead 3 seconds later. I'm getting tired.
Don't die. It makes me sad.
I like the music, actually. Oh, went the wrong way. This gun is really fucking good. Do you guys see it? Wow, look how good this gun actually is.
Pick off or die! I always hated you!
I love this game. I think it's actually very entertaining.
day this lord orders me to tell him about my peasant life. Well, my lord, I says, I rise before the dawn and toil endlessly in the oppressive sun. After day's done, I stumble to the scum and chum, blistered and burnt, for a pint of soda and stale bread. Then off to bed to do it all over again. Granted, it's not as glamorous a life as a lord, but at least I'm my own master. Wait, no I'm not. Boys, my peasant brothers and sisters! I've just come to the terrible realization that our lives are crap! Down with the lords, I say! Rebellion! Who's with me?
You're not as dank as you top you are!
Oh, that's lucky die.
138 over 119. 128 stovepipe. Yeah, that's everything, I think. Black tiger fangs are 1,000. Why? Alright, we're looking at goldsmithing at silver. Silver ore. Silver ingots, 82 of them at 20,800. And silver ore is just sold out pretty much. Yeah, like, can I get it for 58? So I guess I'll go look at the Beast Made Silver Beast coin. $6,000. I will sit and do this for tonight, I guess. $57. 56. 55. 56. 56. 57. 58. 59. 50. Oh. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Six, 6, 6.
Your inventory is full.
Okay, we will put 1 away, or like 2 away. I like the music in this, actually. Love this gun. I love the comet. It's fun. Love this pistol.
Perfectly soiled! This will be the fertilizer from which romance shall bloom! Just one moment. Done. Now to attract a goblin. Release the musk showers!
Oops. I like the music in this game actually a lot.
It worked! It worked! What a specimen! Gornish! A goblin female. Pretty name. Gornish. Now for the polka dots. There are some dyes in the old laboratory. Oh, and just to forewarn you, the old laboratory is positively chock-a-block with traps. Y'all want to be careful.
What am I even doing here? That sounds something so deliciously rank. But I see no sexy goblins whatsoever.
You're here in the name of love.
Oh, well, who am I to stand in the way of true love? I guess I'll stick around.
Bless your heart.
a dab. And... oops. Used the whole bottle. Oh well. It worked! She's not so bad looking. Or a goblin. Now, how to gift her with the poetic tongue? Ah! Head to the graveyard of lost bards! Be careful. You're heading to a spot where dozens of bards died during a poetry contest. Legends say they're capable of a terrible, mind-destroying dark magic known as spoken word.
Ooh, luck going up.
Protect your knees! Don't want to get stuck on guard duty! I'm a paladin, like a bloody fence. You're not the owner, they better be dead. Bit scuffed up, but good enough for the guard. It's not bad, here's a few quid. I'm a paladin, like a bloody fence. Defend the adamant throne!
Um...
I'm a flirt. Away from you, my heart will hurt.
What? No! Come on! That's... Oh, jeez. You're silly. Oh my gosh. Oh, right. Go get Elma, would you? Now, what were you saying?
Once I killed a feral cat, I'd do it again if you'd like that.
That's crazy. You're crazy.
My goblin loins are moist with dew, and my eyes are locked on you.
Stop!
Just fucking weird.
What now? Oh, it's you. Not poor.
Congratulations. We found a polka-dotted goblin poet.
What? Really? This I have to see.
I'm not one to harvest grain. This farmer's eyes drove me insane. She works the land, tills the soil. A glance from her makes my blood boil.
I'll be damned. She did it. That's actually impressive. Hey, how did you do this? It must have taken, well, more smarts than I would have given a poor credit for. Maybe you could tell me over drinks.
What? Oh, no thanks. Not interested. I'm betrothed to Gorneshi.
Goblin.
She's stronger than you and twice as good looking. Go brew yourself a love potion and found yourself your own goblin.
What?
How dare you? Do you know who I... What I...
My lord, can I bend your ear a moment? I know it might seem strange to you, but the alchemist wasn't right for me. Gorneshi sees into my soul. We are meant for one another, and it's all thanks to you, my lord. There's no greater gift than love, but perhaps this will ease your wandering heart all the same. My thanks.
Have I been hexed? Perhaps a charm? My life I'd spend on her sweet farm.
Glornesh, would you like to see my bedroom?
I thought you never asked.
My contract has been accepted. Oh, somebody took that, huh? Alright. I didn't get this and I should have. Oh well.
You caught me off guard. Ooh, some jolly on this one. Let's fire up the smelter.
So bad when you get to know 'em.
This has got to be the gayest game I've ever played. Do you see it? It's just straight up gay flag right there at the top of the fucking castle. Really out of place. Just doesn't belong there. Oh, wow. And it's just, I mean, it's a really homosexual game. I got no issue with it. It's just funny. It is. It's like a very shockingly like in your face gay game. Do you see it? And I think that's cool. I like the rainbow. It's good. It's just shocking to me a bit. That's all. Wait, This is just a straight up missile launcher. Oh my god.
It's right this way. And right here is our lost loot machine. Very popular. Any nice stuff your enemies drop but you happen to miss will... show up right in here. And finally, we've got plenty of citizens who might need your help out there in the world. Some of them hang out here in the soda tavern. Some put up posters around the city. It's been so busy, and I've been pulling non-alcoholic pints all on my own today. Oh, listen to me, lip-flapping while you could be off adventuring. Have a busy day.
Fate Maker! Got a little surprise for you. The Queen is so impressed that she wants to knight you. Bloody congrats. Come meet us in the main square.
Alright, we did Valentine's dumb quest stuff. Let's go pillage the countryside. I want some loot.
What? Heroes don't pillage?
Hero of Brighthoof, for your bravery defending the city, Her Majesty Queen Buttstallion is naming you a Knight of the Realm. Kneel and be
Oops.
I can't believe it. The Queen is dead.
I didn't mean to skip it, but oh well.
No! Tina, what the hell?
I don't know, man. That wasn't
I don't know. I
supposed to happen.
accidentally skipped
Just let
it.
me think for a second.
Sorry.
Oh, she really thought she could run you through the same old hero's journey as always. Well, not this time. I'm in control now.
Fate Maker is lost. What once felt so sure is now fragile and broken. Still, one truth remains standing amidst the wreckage. The forces of evil must be stopped.
Okay. So, a great big booming sound rings out.
Ray hells! What now? It's coming from beyond the docks! Come on, Fate Maker! I fear your work is not done yet.
She left me with all her glittering heart. I miss her so much.
Oh no. The pyramid has awoken.
You'll need to be more specific.
The Dragon Lord's dark citadel across the ocean. Now that he has the sword, he'll be able to take the soul energy of every living thing in the Wonderland. Without the Queen, our fate is sealed.
Hey, ask him if we're still getting knighted.
Fret! We're in mourning.
You are in mourning. I'm getting that sir in front of my name.
Now, I do plan to wail and tear my throat in grief. But is there any chance I'm still getting knighted, or...
Only our Queen had the power to bestow a knighthood. But you do deserve an honor for what you've done, and what must come next. Kneel, Fate Maker. Or just crouch if you
Another day of shipbuilding and fulfillment.
Oh my god, why would you put the fucking edge right there? Oh my god. So dumb, let's go.
When I'm feeling vulnerable, I find that wailing helplessly for my mother really...
As Regent Defender of Christ,
Shut up, you.
I name thee Squire of the Realm.
Goddamn NPCs. The inane chat is so annoying. Shut up and move it on.
But it'll have to do. For your new quest is none other than to save the Wonderlands itself. Journey to the pyramid. Take back the Sword of Souls and avenge our queen. You'll need a vessel. Speak with the dockmaster. Whatever resources we have are at your command, Fademaker.
Adventurer, fate maker, blah blah blah.
Ahoy to you, Squire of the Realm.
Salutations. We have need of a vessel. Don't ask why.
Let us begin construction post-haste. Come and craft your new vessel here at the dock.
Mine eyes have never seen such a beauty of the seas.
She's a wreck.
Nonsense! I dub her the good ship Balsania.
Wait! Before you cast off, you must get the ship blessed by a bard, or you'll be pulled down to a watery grave by Drill, whose chains are the sea.
What? But we're so close to taking off. I don't want to deal with sea curses.
That's just how it works, man. Gotta follow the rules or get cursed drowned.
Unfortunately, our resident bard disappeared in the invasion.
May he play forever under the starless sky of the Ever Night.
What? No, he fell in love with a skeleton and they eloped. There is one other man who can bless your ship, though he is only a half-bard. Still, he may now be your only hope for crossing the ocean. I last saw the half-bard heading into the Weepwild dankness. He returned from those woods. Find him, if he yet still lives.
Ooh, the Weep Wild. Sounds dangerous. In a good way.
Yeah, it's a big old...
The good ship Balsania fears no curse. Cast off!
Okay, but we're gonna get cursed drowned.
The good ship Balsania casts off from harbor. With the wind at your back and the prow aimed at destiny, you have begun your journey across... Oops, no, it's not.
I cannot stress enough how important the bard's blessing is.
Ugh, fine. We'll take this detour and find a stupid bard, but then we're going on the actual quest and saving the world!
In the meantime, I will have the worker goblins dredge your ship from the bottom of the harbor.
He's gonna try and sell me something. Oh no.
The revolution is nigh! Join the goblins tired of forced oppression to help us fight the power and regain our freedom! GTFO! 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 What the hell? I thought we'd agree to do like a chanting thing, but no one's... screw it.
Ah, the long-oppressed goblins of Malcraw.
I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. I have 3 stacks of silver ingots. And it's the holiday, so I can't buy from the vendor. $56, so 15, 30, 45. That's 11K each time you do it. I'm just gonna do that. April 25th? Oh. Oh, it's all, yeah, it's on all updates. Yeah, it's on the 25th, April 25th. Oh, cool. So I returned to Fallout 4 in a week, yeah. I'm gonna have to send fire crystals too, which is annoying. That's okay.
You see a craftsman looking perturbed, which is like disturbed, but perverted.
No, it's not.
Oh, one a bit?
Hot dog, am I perturbed? Hope you weren't planning to cross this here tributary, hero. I was gonna fix this magical bridge, but some ne'er-do-wells have print-napped my magical building recipes and run off to their dismal cave. Get them back for me, will ya?
Uh-huh.
Slow thy roll!
Sniper rifle.
Say your piece. This bridge is as broken as my heart.
It auto saves every time you pick up loot. Every single time. Fucking crazy. See it? It auto saves every time you fucking pick up a piece of loot.
Defeat the battles to retrieve the blueprints.
One more sacrifice. All about yes!
Black screen. What a long day. I walked so much today. Was social with a friend and just...
Cannot hold me! Upward! You may take my life, but you can never take... Never got rich! Died trying! Run or die! Those are your options! My life! You'll fall like all the others!
How's my dialect? Consistent? Be honest.
Hey, the blueprints are yours!
Someday they shall call me Midas, for everything I touch shall turn to gold.
What is that you see? Why, 'tis a shrine piece. There, a bridge upturned. Perhaps you could cross over it. Give it a big thwack. Them's a haiku, baby.
So, you're the...
With a little plate, you won't be late. Pass it on the mile. You're not the owner, they better be dead. I've got to have a salvage mechanic that's costing me a fortune. Defend the adamant throne! Hand forged hunks ahead. Welcome, if you dare.
Gonna stop here. I like this game. It's good. New World got an update. There's a new archetype. Arc games, huh? Oops, I logged into the wrong character, damn it. And I'm probably screwed up now. I'll go see, but Oh no, you logged. Nice. Yeah. I took all the fire out of that. I still have some there. Delivery box and okay.
Your inventory is full.
It's okay.
The country threatened a return to those dark days. Moreover, Kishi wasn't a hero. He was a horrible man who'd helped steer Japan into a devastating war from which he massively profited while the rest of the country suffered.
Break.
He was also just elitist, arrogant, and corrupt. He openly disdained the media and the Japanese public as beneath him and centralized power in an inner circle of allies. Under Kishi, many feared a comeback of the old Japan. As a result, he'd galvanized not only the left, but a wide swath of Japanese society against him. And when he attempted to force through legislation expanding police powers to stifle this widespread public dissent, protesters took to the streets and forced him to back down. By January of 1960, even though he'd seriously improved the treaty terms, nobody trusted him, and mass resistance
Your skill has increased.
was guaranteed. Instead of calming things down, Kishi had fired the country up. The fight for Japan's future was getting uglier. But Kishi didn't care. He wanted to get the job done. Still, months of massive protests unnerved some LDP legislators, so he delayed the vote on the treaty until May 19th, the last day of the Diet's session. But even then, Kishi couldn't be sure he'd get his way. He needed more time, so he moved to extend the session, but the opposition saw it coming, and they blockaded the halls of the Diet, barricading the speaker in his office. Here was an unprecedented confrontation between the two sides of the core identity crisis facing Japan, and millions of Japanese across the country were watching it unfold on their television sets. For hours, it dragged on, until finally Kishi called police into the Diet. an unprecedented move, and had the officers physically carry the opposition members one by one, some literally kicking and screaming out of the building. Then, mere minutes before the session expired at midnight, a mass of officers assembled and forced the speaker through the remaining crowd and up to the rostrum. A 50-day extension was carried. But to everyone's shock, with only his own party present in the chamber, Kishi went further. He called an immediate vote on the treaty. It passed unanimously.
Your skill has increased.
That core conflict over Japan's identity was heating up, moving from the ballot box to boxing bouts, as both major parties resorted to force to either obstruct or jam through a political agenda. Kishi won this round, but the treaty's opponents weren't finished. In their view,
Your
Kishi
skill has
had made it
increased.
clear he'd stop at nothing to get his way, and maybe they should do the same. Crucially for the opposition, the Diet is bicameral. While the lower house voted on May 20th, Japan's upper house still had a say in the matter. They couldn't reject the treaty outright, but they could delay the bill until the next election, when a new lower house might reconsider. If the upper house didn't intervene, however,
Your
the
skill
treaty
has
would
increased.
automatically ratify in 30 days, on June 19th. Coincidentally, the very day President Eisenhower was scheduled to make the first U.S. presidential visit to Japan. Convenient timing for a victory lap for Kishi. But hardly anybody in Japan wanted to grant him the satisfaction. Soon, hordes of citizens took to the streets.
Your
every
skill
day
has
featuring
increased.
A major protest somewhere in the country. The energy had transcended partisan politics to encompass a majority of the population. These weren't just student radicals or urban laborers, they were office workers and housewives. Even a number of conservatives, fed up with Kishi's suicidal politics, began funneling money from Japan's business establishment to left-wing groups organizing the protests. Still,
Your skill
the
has
Diet's
increased.
upper house wasn't budging yet, but the whole exercise was turning into a real problem for Kishi until on June 10th, just over a week before the treaty
Level
was scheduled to
33.
ratify, it got a whole lot worse. Ahead of his arrival, Eisenhower sent his press secretary, Jim Haggerty. But on the way from the airport to meet Kishi, Haggerty's car was assaulted by protesters who surrounded the vehicle, cracked the windows, and caved in the roof, all while shouting anti-American slogans. Eisenhower's security, and by extension the viability of his visit, was called into question. A massive embarrassment for Kishi and a coup for the protesters. It was a small victory, though, because time was running out. The protesters had staged massive demonstrations,
Nice, I only
unprecedented
lost the
strikes,
crystal.
even intimidated the President of the United States. Yet still, the country was hurtling toward the ratification date without a hint of delay from the
I
Diet.
lost this too.
It was now or never. They needed to do something big. On June 15th, 1960, tens of thousands of Japanese gathered before the Diet building. They were faced by 5,000 police officers. At first, the protests were non-violent. One group even managed to break into the Diet compound, where they peacefully occupied a garden, sang songs, and gave speeches. Elsewhere in the vicinity, though, a cohort of right-wing counter-protesters assaulted the demonstrators using planks driven through with nails. A melee ensued. Now things were completely out of hand. The police, who'd been instructed to exercise restraint, now decided the time for such things was over. They attempted to force the protesters out of the Diet compound, beating many of them unconscious. Blood began to run, instigating a mass panic. In the crowd crush that followed, Michiko Kanba, a female student at Tokyo University, was trampled to death.
Your skill has increased.
By midnight, Kishi had given police full authority to clear the building out, but out here, the protest, inflamed by Michiko's death, raged on. Kishi contemplated calling in self-defense force troops, but his cabinet talked him down. Instead, he announced he would resign within the month. Eisenhower canceled his visit. It would be another 15 years before a sitting U.S. president first set foot in Japan. Still, protests continued to rock the country, reaching their peak on June 18th, one day before the treaty's automatic ratification deadline. As one student protester put it, despite U.S. approval of the new treaty, I felt certain that the revision would fail in the face of such widespread opposition, a conviction shared by the adults around me. However, the upper house remained silent, and on June 19th, the treaty was ratified.
I gotta go pee, guys. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
In one sense, the Japanese left and the broader protest movement had failed. It was a critical victory for
Your
the
skill has
conservative side
increased.
of Japan's identity crisis. The treaty
I didn't break that much, and I'm already at a stack, and that's some money. It'll make up for the stack I've lost. I've quite lost the stack yet, but yeah, stack is expensive. It's like 15K, so I pretty much broke even here so far, and I still have quite a lot left there. Hopefully for enough money for another stack, but this definitely cost me some money. This definitely cost me some money. But I mean, it's okay. I need to do this anyway. It's skill up, and it needs to happen. And I'll have to go out there and grind again. Yeah, I mean, like, it's another 100K will come back in. And another 140K will come back in, which will put me at exactly what I was at, 207 or something like that. Or, yeah, 207 I think it was. I think I lost money here, but I don't know really how much. I don't know. It's hard to say. In the morning when I wake up, I'll be able to have a better look on it. But you can hear the skill ups going, which means that I'm on the right track and I'm doing the right thing. Oh God, I broke, didn't I? Of course I did, and I wasted money because I didn't get my bonus. I really need the bonus. I can't believe I just broke. Please, just the crystal. Please, just the crystal. Please, just the crystal. But it's okay. Oh my God, all 4. Son of a bitch, man. And I'll farm money for days if I have to. I'll farm up like another 100, 200K or something like that.
Your skill has increased.
Okay, I have to pee. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Your skill has increased. Your skill has increased. Your skill has increased. Your skill has increased.
Okay, sorry about that. Had to pee. Alright, how's this going? We have not broke, and we got our skill up. I did break, but I didn't lose any ore.
Your skill has increased.
And I will move to Mithril in the future, and I'll just buy Mithril.
Your skill has increased.
Treaty was ratified and the country had taken a clear step toward U.S. alignment, which was more or less legally locked in until the treaty was due for renewal in 10 years. But in another sense, the opposition had scored a major victory. Eisenhower
Your skill has
backed out,
increased.
and Kishi resigned, proving that two could play political hardball. In turn, neither had this episode truly settled the fundamental question about what kind of nation Japan would become. If anything, the choice in the upcoming elections seemed more polarized than ever, as the Socialist Party leader Inejiro Asanuma visited the Chinese Communists, still not recognized by Japan as the official government, where he treated with party chairman Mao Zedong, gave speeches declaring his friendship with China and opposition to America, and returned to Japan wearing Mao's signature outfit. Asanuma wasn't just a radical, he was popular. Famous for his shabby dress and for living in public housing his whole life, Asanuma connected with the public.
Your skill has
about
increased.
As, well as Kishi repulsed it. By contrast, if a Mao suit
I have
and
it
shabby
broke,
clothes
which is good.
defined Asanuma's radicalism and appeal, wire-rimmed glasses and double-breasted suits defined the LDP's new leader, Kishi's Minister for International Trade and Industry, Hayato Ikeda. This was the uniform.
Your
of a
skill has
graduate from
increased.
an elite school, an economist, and a finance minister. Hardly the look of a man destined to repair the party's elitist reputation. But it wasn't just Ikeda's clothing that seemed to doom his odds. Indeed, his party had chosen him because he was thought to be an empty shirt, someone with no real base of support within the party who could stand in until the impending election determined the better man for the job. After all, Ikeda's career was littered with political missteps. Back in 1950, he'd infamously suggested that Japan's poor should cope with high food costs by eating more cheap barley and less expensive rice, prompting comparisons.
Museum killed him for some reason.
Worse still, Ikeda had been trade and industry minister once before in 1952, but had lasted less than
Your skill has increased.
quoted in the lawsuit, remarking boldly, "Then 5 or 10 small businessmen commit suicide, it can't be helped." Asanuma, the everyman, couldn't have asked for a better opponent. But he had more than Ikeda to contend with. On October 12, 1960, Nejiro Asanuma stood on stage for a debate inside this building in Tokyo, with Ikeda seated in the front row. Millions were watching on TV when suddenly a man rushed on stage and seemed to collide with Asanuma. He wielded a wakizashi, a kind of short sword, and as he lunged at Asanuma a second time, he was tackled to the ground. But it was too late. The assailant's first strike had been a deep blow through the ribs. Asanuma died within minutes. It was Japan's first political assassination since the war. The killer was a 17-year-old right-wing radical who would hang himself in jail a few weeks later after scrawling, "Long live the Emperor," on his cell wall in toothpaste.
Most believed the murder would buoy support for the socialists, both for reasons of sympathy and because it reinforced the fear which spread under Kishi's leadership, that behind the LDP, in the shadow of Japan's right wing, was violence and terror. However, just days after Asanuma's death, Ikeda stood before the Diet to give a speech, where many expected characteristically direct and concise remarks, where Kishi might have even made a campaign speech. Ikeda shocked his colleagues by delivering an impassioned eulogy for Asanuma.
There, I got to
reciting the
35,
lyrics
nice.
from one of his 1920s campaign songs, and commending his colleagues' commitment to the public good. His words left many in tears. But this wasn't just a one-off performance. The storming of the Diet had been traumatic. The death of a protester, tragic. But seeing a colleague stabbed to death mere feet away, that changed Ikeda. Gone were the wire-rimmed glasses and double-breasted jackets. He adopted chunky plastic frames and simple suits. the clothes of a man who no longer considered himself above the people.
56,000.
Nor was Ikeda's transformation limited to a new outfit. He now fully grasped the gravity of Japan's political chaos. He saw how Kishi's confrontational winner-take-all politics had taken his country to a very dark place. Politics was too existential, too polarized, too violent. In his campaign, Ikeda sought to bring himself closer to the people, touring the country to discuss food prices, unemployment, and other kitchen table issues, promising, if elected, to double Japan's national income within a decade and to abstain from the golf and lavish geisha parties so beloved by his predecessor.
It worked.
Oh my god.
In the 1960 election, the LDP gained a number of seats as Japan's left wing shrank. More importantly, Ikeda kept his word. While in office, he never did play golf, nor was he seen at any parties. He attended studiously to governance, and though he died of cancer before his promise to the nation could be realized, Ikeda's policies doubled Japan's national income in just 7 years. But his most lasting legacy was his abandonment of the LDP's platform of constitutional revision. Article 9 would stay. Japan would not remilitarize. But not everyone celebrated Ikeda's achievements. Kishi, for one, lamented the move away from constitutional revision, while many LDP members decried his administration in general as do-nothing, a critique Ikeda seemed to embrace. As his close confidant and future Prime Minister Kiichi Miyazawa recalled, the issue was not what policies should be followed, but how policies should be decided in the Diet, and this issue was not really a joking matter. In America or Britain, this how has been decided as the result of a long history and centuries of tradition. It might take Japan many more years to get to that point. Ikeda's attitude was that, in order to promote the healthy development of parliamentary democracy, the Conservative Party, but also the progressive parties as well, should exercise a bit more self-control. By nature, the younger the democracy.
Okay, guys, I'm going to call it here a little bit early. I'm at about 11 hours right now, but I can't stay up all night, and I know that I'm going to be in bed and going to bed here. And, yeah, it was a long day for me, and I was out in the sun today for 2 hours, and I will be out in the sun probably tomorrow as well. And, I just want to say thank you for your time, and yeah, I had a lot of fun today. This session in its entirety was recorded and will be placed on my YouTube channel in the next day. I will begin uploading right now. And just a reminder, you are watching Skycat Live. My website is skycat.live. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background, and click on the cast face to donate, or come to Twitch and YouTube to sub to me or follow me. And thank you so much for your time. And that's all I have for you. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's all I have. I'll talk to you later. Love you. Bye.